Adobe Acrobat Studio, your new foundation. Use PDF spaces to generate a presentation. Grab your docs, your permits, your moves. AI levels up your pitch, gets it in a groove. Choose a template with your timeless cool. Come on now, let's flex those tools. Draft, design, deliver, make it sing. AI builds the deck so you can build that thing. Do that, do that, do that with Acrobat.
Learn more at adobe.com/do-that-with-Acrobat.
Savage Cut. Real talk, no filter on Savaged Unfiltered. Savaged.
Alrighty, Joe. So we got a good one today. I want to get into the debate last night, the circus show of last night between JD Vance and Walls. He doesn't even deserve a first name because he is a wall of a person.
Tampon Tim. Tiananmen Tim.
That's a nice one. I like that one. We'll use that one.
Yeah, Tiananmen Tim, because he's really peddling, as I mentioned on the bike walk special to school special cut. He brought up how passionate he was about education. No, you're passionate about peddling Maoism and Marxism. That's why you set up a program to take kids over to China and show them all the pomp and circumstance and look at all these beautiful buildings, not showing the death, destruction, and poverty everywhere else that communism causes. But in the break, what was that about a dago named Bo? Oh, no, that was a bodega. Sorry, right. Hey, folks, I'm part Italian. It's just jokes to Joe. Remember, it's just a joke. If you want to, freak out, try to cancel me over an Italian joke when I'm part Italian.
Well, you gotta cater to the feelings, because if you don't, then they get their feelings hurt. Well, I don't cater to anybody.
Yeah, again, I'm part Italian. I'm part Polish. I have no problem with Polak jokes. If you're part of the cancel culture, can't take a joke, go fuck yourself.
Gotcha. Yeah, guys. If you like the content, head over to the QR code in the upper left hand corner, Savage Unfiltered. Scan it, and you'll see a lot of previous episodes of Joe here and countless of the personalities that have been featured on this show in countless of years. Joe, what you're approaching like 2 years on this show, I think, just about.
I don't know. I think it's over that. Yeah, and of course, Meow Man, as I call him, Bobcat Lament. You want to see he's more a cartoon character than a personality. You want to see some of those shows, of course.
Yeah. He's a ring of delight. He really is a ring of delight. But,
he's the other comic relief.
Oh, he is.
As well as me, Jokester Joe. Yeah.
The other day with the political
politics. Yeah. What?
I don't know if I should answer that question. I'm not really.
Yeah. Well, like I was joking, since he uses a cat caricature cartoon as his avatar, and that with what's going on in Ohio, he better start paying attention to politics or he'll get eaten.
Joe, he's in St. Louis, not Ohio.
No, but Cat, Springfield, Ohio, the dog cat.
Yeah, I thought you were talking about his residence.
No.
He lives near the Big Arch, No,
it could come from Ohio to St. Louis if he's not careful, so he better pay attention. That's, again, not to get too political here, to get back to the debate, but that's the point. They're trying to California all of America. People, just because something isn't happening where you are doesn't mean it's not on the way to you. If you vote for these commie, fascy, socis, all on the left, the Democrat Party is the commie, fascy, socis blend of cast of characters.
Oh, yeah. Yeah. I want to talk a little bit about the debate, guys, because I got a clip, several actually, because last night I'm looking at it and I'm like, another debate of a Trump team demolishing a Harris-Wall campaign. I mean, we've seen that with Trump with, the first merry-go-round with Biden back earlier this summer. Destroyed Biden in a debate. Everybody thought that Biden was the clear victor, which I was like, Sleepy Joe, man, I'm waiting for him to be carted off the stage because he looks like he's going to fall asleep in the middle of it. And then, fast forward a couple months later, and, we see Harris, right? About a month and a half later, we see Harris and Trump, and the same thing. Everybody thinks, Harris was the clear victor of the debate. All right, and then we go to last night's debate, and then we see JD Vance and Tampon Tim. I like that, Tampon Tim, literally battling over the stuff that they keep up promising that they're gonna deliver, through a Harris-Wall administration. We're gonna do this, we're gonna do that, we're gonna build a wall. Oh, now they want to build a wall. I'm telling you.
Yeah, well, first, before we get more into the VP debate, let me say, since you mentioned the Trump debates, Trump agreed to 3 debates. He fulfilled that promise. He showed up. He buried Biden. He showed up. He buried Kamala. He showed up for the Fox News debate that he agreed to, and Cackles was a no-show. So he did the town hall with Hannity instead. So Trump fulfilled his promise to show up for 3 debates. It's Cackles that was the coward and that refused. She can only go on ABC, NBC, CBS, CNN, all the friendly neighborhood and the media left-wing propagandist broadcasts that hand them the questions ahead. Did you notice in the VP debate, she said, no one was provided the questions in advance. And this time, I believe her. Although we don't know, someone could have leaked Walls the questions and she didn't know. But you notice they said that. They said that now, but they didn't need to hand him the questions. Yeah, they knew the moderators were going to ask every question in a favorable manner.
It was a rigged thing, Joe, because like last night,
Michael Gardner
about
Uncut.
What were they talking about? Something with where they cut off JD Vance's mic.
He fact-checked them after they correctly tried to fact-check him.
Shit that they were doing with Trump about almost a month ago with Kamala Harris, right? They were pulling that same fact-checking garbage with JD Vance. And JD Vance, he went in there like a freaking eagle, man. Yeah. I mean, no wonder. I'm so glad. At first, I was scratching my head. I'm like, Trump, what the hell are you doing with this guy? And then afterwards, I'm like, wow, now I understand why he picked him. Because he's different than Pence, Joe. He's different than Pence. He goes right in, and he's not afraid to say, "Hey, wait a minute! You're not going to make me look like an idiot in front of national television."
Yeah, they weren't fact checking; they were spin insertioning. And he said, "No, I'm going to fact check your bullshit spin you just tried to peddle." And eventually, they cut off his mic because he was embarrassing the shit out of the moderator, showing yet again all the questions were made. Except for the Tiananmen Square question to Walls, they were all phrased to favor Walls and Harris. And he said, no, I'm going to fact check your bullshit. And they had to cut his mic because he embarrassed him and showed it was 3-on-1 again.
Yeah. Check out some of these clips, guys. I like I said, I got a lot here on the show. Not a lot, but just some, just to show you the Circus Show.
He had 4 years to do this, and he promised you, America, how easy it would be. I'll build you a big, beautiful Walt.
In Springfield, Ohio, and in communities all across this country, you've got schools that are overwhelmed. You've got hospitals that are overwhelmed. You have got housing that is totally unaffordable because we brought in millions of illegal immigrants to compete with Americans for scarce homes.
Thank you, gentlemen.
The CBP app has not been on the books since 1990. It's something that Kamala Harris is engaged in censorship at an industrial scale. And that, to me, is a much bigger threat to democracy than what Donald Trump said when he said that protesters should peacefully protest on January the 6th.
He was very clear. I mean, he lost this election. This was a threat to our democracy in a way that we had not seen. And it manifested itself because of Donald Trump's inability to say. He is still saying he didn't lose the election. I would just ask that. Did he lose the 2020 election?
Tim, I'm focused on the future.
That is a damning non-answer.
Crazy stuff.
Nope. I ran to grab a prop. You've heard me say it before. I make no bones. I'm supporting Trump Vance this election. I am a Republican. I am a conservative. I am a constitutionalist, as you heard me coin. But over and over, when I'm on shows, it's why Savage has me here. I'm not here to wear my red hat. Rah, 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 my team, only my team. And this isn't a MAGA hat. It's a Republican National Convention hat from years ago. But Vance, I think, won on points. But again, like I said of Trump, he wasn't perfect. There were missed opportunities. But let me say, as someone who has run for office before, been in debates, been in interviews, sometimes you have things in your head you intend to say, and sometimes, in the flow of things, they get overlooked. Like, Walls brought up Project 2025 3 times again. A lie. And Vance should have said, you are running against Trump Vance. Our platform is on Trump's website. You are not running against the Heritage Foundation, which that is on their website. It is not our platform. So that was a major missed opportunity.
He missed the opportunity, like I just said. Yeah, I just briefed that in there with that comment. He missed that opportunity to comment on the whole Project 25 because everybody thinks that, Donald Trump is the godfather of this Project 25. And Trump even said on live national television, I don't think he's going to lie and make himself look like a jackass in front of millions upon millions of Americans. That I have no idea what Project 25 is. I don't know what it is. I don't know what it's about. I don't want nothing to do with Project 25, nor do I even want to start near anything near Project 25.
I've read it. I think there are some good things in there, and I agree there are some bad things. If I were a candidate right now, I would say, no, I'm not on board with that. But, there are going to be things we agree and disagree with the Heritage Foundation. I used to be a member. Full disclosure, I got no problem with them putting forth their plan, but it is not Trump's plan. And the other thing is, in that clip was about the Illinois housing, another missed opportunity to put the moderators and Walls and the Kamalionists in their place about communism is, do none of you have any economics background whatsoever? Have you not ever taken, I said it exactly this way to the moderators, Economics 101, supply and demand. You bring in 25 million people competing for something, the price goes up. Moron communists.
Exactly. Most of these people that are supporting this Harris-Walls administration campaign, whatever you want to call it,
anything.
They don't know anything about economics. They have nothing. They have no clue and knowledge about financial backgrounds of brackets or any of that. They're just voting for these two clowns because they're not Donald Trump and they're not J.D. Vance. That's why. Right. These are the same idiots that would still vote for a Biden-Harris re-election in November. Yeah, you think I'm crazy, folks?
Well,
Seriously.
Remember when Bill Clinton won, James Carville came up with, it's the economy, stupid. Well, that's what it is again now. I've got several pieces that I wrote at Before It's News and thelibertybeacon.com on this. It's the economy, stupid. We need to focus on that, right? The whole point. One piece I wrote is the number 6 always better than the number 3 because 6 is bigger than 3. And that's a trick question. If you understand economics and accounting 101, you got to look at both sides of the ledger, the debits and the credits, the ins and the outs. A 6% increase in a Biden year, that inflation is 9%. You're losing money, moron. But Trump, you only got a 3% increase. Well, yeah, 6% increase, bigger than 3% increase. But in Trump's years, inflation was 1.5%. You actually were gaining ground. You were getting ahead. You had more money. That's why you see the ad. I should have said before the show so you could have pulled the ad to show that higher wages as adjusted for inflation.
That's we're going to talk about that in a minute.
Trump years.
Yeah,
higher wages in the Trump years because of the 6-3 thing.
Yeah, we'll talk about that ad in a little bit because it's trending all over the place on TikTok, including Twitter X, guys. But
basic economics and accounting.
Yeah, I gotta get a quick break in, guys. Thank you very much to the folks over there at Monkey Colt Coffee Company, where boozy coffee is just better. That's right, guys. Had an opportunity, going back months and months ago, talking to the actual CEO and founder of this amazing company in the great state of Florida, right over in Tampa Bay, guys. He's a very young entrepreneur / business owner that came up with a concept of actually infusing liquor and alcohol and coffee. I'm blown away. I'm talking to my manager, producer of the show, Daniel Richardson, Shaky here, and I'm like, can they do that? Alcohol, liquor, and coffee, man. Like I'm gonna want to taste this. So they sent me a sample pack, and obviously they sponsored the show too. Joe's got some samples that were shipped up to him in Detroit, and I don't know if you tried it out, Joe. I'm not, you told me you're not a big fan of coffee, but it's amazing, guys. It really is. I mean, it's so rich and natural. It's another coffee company that doesn't give you the jitters. It doesn't give you that crash like usually after 20 minutes. It's really, really good stuff, guys. Check them out today. Scan the QR code and use code SAVAGE at checkout. And
I gave the sample that I got away to someone who I know would appreciate it, who was a coffee drinker, and so I could get honest feedback. And indeed, they love it. They love it. And the blackout. That and blackout. You got to get blackout or Monkey Colt. Those are the only two on the planet coffee you want to deal with.
Yeah, the guys over there at Monkey Colt, especially, I mean, two amazing umbrellas of coffee companies right in the state of Florida, guys. Monkey Colt over in Tampa, Blackout Coffee headquartered in Stuart, Florida, over there in Martin County.
I include links to both of them in my show notes for every one of my Constitutionalist Politics podcast shows. Show notes too.
Yeah. Scan the QR code, guys, and also show the love to Joe because they are a partnered with the show here as well as Constitutionalist Politics podcast. There, Joe.
Hey, you got the name right.
A couple months, but we got it.
You and your vocabulary sometimes, right? We tease Savage too. It's all in good fun, but sometimes his mouth. Hey, it happens to all of us. Sometimes my mouth and my brain don't cooperate either.
I'm going to give a plug because I always love giving great plugs to great individuals. My good friend up in New Jersey, Walt Blau, right over at B Raw Podcast. I know you're listening, Walt. He's constantly making fun of me. He's like, you know what, Michael Savage, you're great on the mic, right? You're great on the mic, but you got some crazy vocabulary skills. I'm like, well, that's what happens when you grow up in New York City. You get, You know.
New Yorker. Yeah, what a matter you? And the sour apple, right? The sour apple.
Yeah. I'm sitting here. I'm getting excited. I grew up in Astoria, so like it's the city.
What, hysteria?
No, Astoria. Right next to Flushing, right below Jamaica.
Just playing.
Donald Trump country, I call it.
Yeah. Anyway, we're supposed to be talking about the debate. Yeah.
We're talking about debate. We got some time up on the show, guys. But check out this next clip. Oh, it's funny as hell. This is where J.D. Vance is like turning his head. He's almost pulled like a Donald moment. Like, what the fuck is this guy talking about? Check this out.
About our CBS News polling, which does show that a majority of Americans, more than 50%, support mass deportations.
Look, we fix this issue with a bill that is necessary, but the issue on this is what happens when you don't want to solve it. You demonize it. And we saw this, and Senator Vance, and it surprises me on this, talking about and saying, I will create stories to bring attention to this. That vilified a large number of people who were here legally in the community of Springfield. The Republican governor said, it's not true, don't do it. There's consequences for this. There's consequences. We could come together. Senator Langford did it. We could come together and solve this if we didn't let Donald Trump continue to make it an issue. And the consequences in Springfield were the governor had to send state law enforcement to escort kindergartners to school. I believe Senator Vance wants to solve this, but by standing with Donald Trump and not working together to find a solution, it becomes a talking point. And when it becomes a talking point like this, we dehumanize and villainize other human beings.
Tim,
Governor, your time is up. Senator, I'll give you 1 minute, but let me just ask you the question first. The governor has made the point, and I think as a sitting lawmaker, you know that Congress controls the purse strings and any funding. So you have said repeatedly that Donald Trump would, through executive action, solve this. Do you disagree that Congress controls the purse strings and would need to support many of the changes that you would actually want to implement? You have 1 minute.
Look, Margaret, first of all, the gross majority of what we need to do at the southern border is just empowering law enforcement to do their job. I've been to the southern border more than our borders are. Kamala Harris has been. And it's actually heartbreaking because the Border Patrol agents, they just want to be empowered to do their job. Of course, additional resources would help, but most of this is about the president and the vice president empowering our law enforcement to say, if you try to come across the border illegally, you've got to stay in Mexico, you've got to go back through proper channels. Now, Governor Waltz brought up the community of Springfield, and he's very worried about the things that I've said in Springfield. Look, in Springfield, Ohio, and in communities all across this country, you've got schools that are overwhelmed. You've got hospitals that are overwhelmed. You have got housing that is totally unaffordable because we brought in millions of illegal immigrants to compete with Americans for scarce homes. The people that I'm most worried about in Springfield, Ohio, are the American citizens who have had their lives destroyed by Kamala Harris's open border. It is a disgrace, Tim. And I actually think, I agree with you. I think you want to solve this problem, but I don't think that Kamala Harris does.
I got an issue here, guys. I'm surprised that the moderators didn't snake their way in with a side comment. Very surprised. Towards the middle of the end of that segment that Senator Vance was getting into. We have a border issue. We do. We have an extreme border issue.
But they did insert, Mike. Here's how. If anyone out there thinks these weren't biased moderators, you weren't paying attention. Did you notice in their tone and in what they say, language matters. Every time Walz would say something, they said to Vance, Tim Walz made the point in that we agree with him. He's right. Whatever you say is going to be bullshit. And every time they would say Vance to Walz, Vance alleges as if it's false on its face. And okay, Tim, correct him. You know, And the body language, as you mentioned, even the moderators, the body language. Newsmax had a body language expert on, of course. And Walls is, with the shrugs and all that, showing he was lying all the time.
In the first and only vice presidential debate between Governor Tim Walz and Senator J.D. Vance, both men asked if they would support a preemptive strike by Israel on Iran after Iran launched the largest ever ballistic missile attack on Israel yesterday.
And look, it is up to Israel what they think they need to do to keep their country safe, and we should support our allies wherever they are when they're fighting the bad guys.
Israel's ability to be able to defend itself is absolutely fundamental. Getting its
another dodge,
hostages back,
the anti-Semitic party,
and ending
and they're trying to have it both ways now during the election.
Abortion rights Walz accusing the Trump campaign of planning to create a registry of pregnancies.
Murder isn't care,
if not impossible.
And the registry of abortions is not anywhere on Trump's plan. It's yet another lie. They don't oppose IVF. Another lie.
No, certainly we won't.
On the issue of immigration, Vance pressed on Trump's plan for mass deportations.
I had a mother who struggled with opioid addiction and has gotten clean. I don't want people who are struggling with addiction to be deprived of their second chance because Kamala Harris let in fentanyl into our communities at record levels. So you've got to stop the bleeding.
Look, the open borders got to be closed. And the whole thing about that, the other note I made was like Henry on the other day. I think he's a fraud. He's phony. I'm in the middle. I'm an independent. I'm a moderate act while he's spewing every ultra left-wing talking point on the planet there is. He's a fraud. He's a leftist. He's trying to fool people like Walz did. He talked about, there's a bill. Do you know what the bill is? It's an amnesty bill, and only one Republican, Langford, that he mentioned, one Republican signed on it, and they want to call it bipartisan. That's bullshit. It's a lie. It's an amnesty bill. Yeah, there's a line for a couple million for a few more judges, a line for a couple $1 million for more border agents, but those are meant to process them, to grant them amnesty. The bill is really about.
Savaged with Michael Gardner on Spotify.
And I'm glad, guys, that, certain celebrities are waking up. I got a clip here I'm going to plug in here in a moment. Celebrity Rob Schneider weighing his thoughts on the whole Harris-Walz agenda, their policy. I mean, he's even, I don't want to say he's waking up. I think he's always been awakened. Right, he always been wakened to politics.
He's always been a conservative, but he's been quiet about it. Now he's being
very
vocal.
Quiet. Yeah,
all these other celebrities are speaking out, so why shouldn't he? He knows what's his face, Adam Sandler, his buddy, is always going to help put him in movies, so he'll have income coming. Unlike some other actors and actresses who can't speak up, they're afraid for their paycheck; they'll be blacklisted. But yeah, so he's speaking up. I love Swifties for Trump on the internet. I don't care that Taylor Swift, who's old,
she needs a lot of money. Speaking of Taylor Swift, did you see that? If you guys pay attention, I'll put it up in there again, guys. If you see that, check out this on the bottom. This week's news, guys. We put out these little tickers here. Pay attention to the bottom. If you look at the bottom of my ticker, Taylor Swift is losing a huge amount of money, man. It's crazy.
Yeah. Well, she's got her millions. So the communomics of Walz, Harris, and Biden won't hurt her. They will hurt her fans who are dads trying to scrape up enough money to take their daughters to an outrageously priced Swift concert. She's got her millions, but Swifties...
Right there. Taylor Swift loses 2 million Spotify listeners after Kamala Harris endorsement. Oh, my God.
But that's the point. She's got her money. It's her fans who will hurt. And her whole career is songs about her lack of ability to judge character. So now she's in Men, right, about all her breakups.
And then you're going to have people who are going to say, oh, like she just writes songs about her ex-boyfriends. And I think, frankly, that's a very sexist angle to take. No one says that about Ed Sheeran. No one says it about Bruno Mars. They're all writing songs about their exes, their current girlfriends, their love life, and no one raises a red flag there.
It's true. She's a piss poor judge of character of men, while her endorsement of Harris now just proves she's also a shit judge of character of women, too.
Oh, yeah. Yeah.
And her fans are reacting. Swifties for Trump.
Yeah. Donald Trump, he's got some comments on last night's debate. He said, JD Vance, just have some fun.
I said, JD, have fun. It's true. JD, that's right. We have a big deal going on. And I said, JD, have a lot of fun. He's a smart guy. He's been amazing. He's been a real warrior. Top student at Yale. He was a very brilliant guy in so many different ways. And, he's a very hard worker. He goes around and he's not afraid of the media. He'd stand here and he'd answer all of your questions. I have a lot of people that wouldn't do that. They don't like doing that. They get shouted at and they don't like being shouted at. But JD is very much a warrior. Very much a warrior. Thank you very much.
Oh, he is a warrior. He's another Trump, and I'm glad that Trump picked him. At first, again, guys, I was questioning Trump's decision on that. I'm like, what the hell? I thought it might have been Tulsi Gabbard. I was hoping it was going to be Kristi Noem, but I think Joe did he? I think he good.
Yeah, I wanted Noem too.
First, again, guys, I was questioning Trump's decision on that. I'm like, what the hell? I thought it might have been Tulsi Gabbard. I was hoping it was going to be Kristi Noem, but I think Joe did he? I think good.
Yeah, I wanted Noem too. I'm not sure. I thought I talked to you on air about this before, but maybe it was Rick Walker of Maverick News. Also, you and me, none of us like identity politics, but Abraham Lincoln didn't get to say Gettysburg, Schmettysburg, let them have it. Then they could march all into the North wherever they wanted to go. Sometimes the enemy picks a battleground you have to fight. And J.D. Vance is a slight identity politics pick without him being female or black, which would be obvious because of his upbringing, his hillbilly elegy story, right? The left, redneck and hillbilly are four-letter derogative terms, but Vance turns it into a positive, as does Lady Redneck, Stephanie Lee, who I'd had my show. She's got a tune called A Little Rednecky, right? We got to reclaim those terms. They're not negative. They're not derogatory. They're not stupid people. They're just a different kind of folksy, laid-back culture. That's not negative, but the left call them flyover country. So Vance brings hillbilly as an identity politics play that's silent. I'm the only one openly talking about it, but that hint is there because, like it or not, again, you have to fight on battlegrounds the enemy stakes or you surrender. Strategically Stupid, a show I just released. Are you stupid? You're just going to surrender ground to the enemy? That is stupid. Like I say, smart leaders studied The Art of War by Sun Tzu. Stupid leaders, like many in America, studied The Art of Stupid by Sun Byrne. A lot of people, even on my side, on the right, are strategically stupid. They're more Sun Byrne than intelligent Sun Tzu.
I heard that term.
Legitimate good tactics, yes.
Yeah, I heard that term you used on your show earlier this week, guys. If you paid attention, Joe does mention that term, sunburn, if you paid attention to his episode. But guys,
and it's very apropos because of Biden on the beach all the time, right? I coined that phrase last year, and now Biden's making it also perfect by being on the beach all the time. You're either strategically smart like a Sun Tzu or strategically stupid like idiot Biden out there getting a sunburn. So it works in multiple levels now. It's like I'm paying him to help me, but I'm not.
Oh, yeah. Yeah. Guys, before we close it out, I do want to direct your attention here on the screen, guys. Please. We're going to be doing a live show. That's right, guys. A live podcast show up in Pittsburgh. It's actually in the outskirts of Pittsburgh, a little town called Tarleton. It's about maybe 20 minutes east of the city. I say Pittsburgh in the graphic here, the QR graphic, because it's literally Pittsburgh. It's like Stone Mountain for Atlanta. It's a little suburb, right? So join us, guys, November 10th at 7 p.m. Eastern. Excuse me. The tickets now, if you see on the screen, are $20, but there are 2 forms of tickets, guys. You can check us out on the live stream. The live stream will be at Podudi, which is the same QR code, guys. If you scan this QR code, you can get all the ticket information there to check us live on their website, as well as in person. Now, if you want to see me live in person, I hope.
I don't know why anybody would, but no, I'm kidding. I'm kidding, of course.
I hope.
I've got a joke for this too. Pittsburgh, right?
Let me get the plug in, buddy. Joe's he's right there, man. He's like fire, ready to just ignite. But check us out, guys, in person, because I think in person is always best than live streaming, right? But it's available in 2 formats: live streaming and in person. In person, guys, the tickets are available for $20. A lot of great acts have been there: podcasters, comedians, voiceover artists, ventriloquists. My good friend April that I have on the show, April Brucker, she's had her act there with her political puppets and dolls and everything. So it's going to be really fun, guys. November 10th, 7 p.m. Eastern. All the information, parking, ticket information can be found right there on the website. Appreciate it. What's your
now 2 things.
You're like my friend Timmy. You're wasting my plugs.
Yeah. Seriously, though, I joke, I tease Michael Savaged, a.k.a. Savage. Why would anybody want to see him? But it's a joke. Jokester Joe. It's just a joke. It's a loving jab. Seriously, you do want to see this. And the other thing is it's not in the pit. It's Pittsburgh adjacent. Ba-dum-bum.
From the high-stakes vice presidential showdown between J.D. Vance and Tim Walz. But watch out, J.D. Team Walz seems to be laying a trap. They're acting all nervous that the governor will blow it and even taking to the airwaves to lower expectations. Watch this.
I just think we need to lower expectations a little bit because then we can all be pleasantly surprised if I'm wrong and that Tim Walz just mops the floor with him.
Trying to pin him as extreme, out of touch, and all of that. I think that's where he's going to go really, really hard. If it's joyful warrior versus grumpy young guy trying to represent grumpy old guy, I think it would be a win.
And Donald Trump is getting in on the pre-debate fun by taking this shot at Tim Walz. Watch.
You'll see it tomorrow with JD. It'll be stacked. He's going up against a moron, a total moron. How she picked him is unbelievable. And I think it's a big factor. There's something wrong with that guy. He's sick.
He is a moron.
You know what? Yeah, he called himself a knucklehead about, sometimes I misspeak. No. We do hours and hours and hours of show. Yes, we misspeak, but honest people like us correct ourselves when we catch or somebody points out we've misspoken. When you tell the same story that is a lie over and over and over again, that is lying, not misspeaking. Tampon Tim or Tiananmen Tim.
I can't wait for Greg Gutfeld to I know he's going to run a piece sometime this week about him. I know. Possibly later in the week, maybe tomorrow night or the night afterwards. I know he's going to. He has to be running a piece. Check this clip out, guys, with Ron Snyder. Now,
what's left of it?
Florida, yeah. Okay. So it's exciting, but so is the book exciting. It's a mix of your beliefs in politics, the country, your history, and your comedy. Some people would say that's an impossible task, Rob. Why did you take on this titanic task?
First of all, I got into show business to avoid actual work.
And this book was actual work, Brian. Brian. I mean, you had to research stuff, and then you have to look it up, and you have to check it, and you have to confirm it, and then the lawyers look at it. But it was fun because I got to look at some of these old sketches and stuff that I did, and some old jokes, and also just to comment on what I think has been a slide into tyranny in our country and away from free speech, unfettered free speech. So it's nice to kind of look and see what's happened because it's happened pretty quickly in about the last 11 years. And so you kind of look at it, and then I worked with some really good scholars to. Whether it was James Lindsay from New Discourses or Roman Breziniak, and to work on some of the historical stuff in the book. And I think it covers some good ground. And I try to make it funny,
And you do. I mean, from Chris Farley to Norm Macdonald, you have to familiar names in the sketches.
Norm, yeah.
So, I mean, I'll play some of it. But the one thing that you reminded me of is SNL was something to look forward to. For example, I can't wait for it to start this weekend. But then I realized it's a new era. First off, they would make fun of Kamala Harris the way she did it to Joe Biden.
They will know. They will. They have to.
Or how about?
You gotta love Schneider. I mean, he's full to the point, and I agree with the last 11 years.
I've always been a fan.
The last 11 years, we've got into a full totalitarian, radicalized government.
Yeah,
and it's not stopping.
His silly, stupid humor, the silly, stupid.
It's part of the persona.
The gigolo, the male gigolo thing. Just good, clean fun, just silliness, stupid, meant to laugh, but everybody's so damn uptight. And now, of course, that he's out speaking as a conservative, the left will try to cancel him. Yeah, and it's ridiculous.
It is ridiculous. Guys, you're going to want to join us on X. That's right, guys. If you like this show, if you like the live streams on X, you're going to love my appearances in countless of spaces. I want to give some hat tips, guys, and then we're going to close it out. I want to thank Dana over there in Bonfire. Always appreciate it. The invite to me. Again, the words, guys, because I'm showing heart right now. Sometimes I do slur my words, when I do, show realness on the show. But thank you very much, Dana, over there at Bonfire Community, a conservative Twitter X space. Always bring in relevant information, not fake information. Check out that space, guys, every night. They do it every night, guys. I don't know where they get the energy. Sometimes 5, 6, 7 hours. There's an old man in there by Angry Pop. Hat tip to you, Angry Pop. This man is like in his almost 80s, dude. 80s. He's at 80, maybe 81, 82. He's up till like 2, 3 o'clock in the morning, just like shouting out the Constitution and shouting out facts. I'm like, holy shit, man. Where does he get the energy? So thank you very much, Dana there at Bonfire. Also, thank you to Marlon there at his space. He does a lot of the MAGA spaces. Always appreciate the invite. So scan the QR code, guys. That QR code will direct my presence in any of these X spaces. And it's always an honor being part of them. But, we're going to wrap it up here, Joe. I
got showing heart, no problem. Just don't show any other body parts. Nobody wants to see those. But I'm pumped. Just joke, people. These are jokes, right? Jokester Joe. But in all seriousness, Schneider, he realizes, like I wrote on Before It's News, too late, like Reagan warned, are we a nation gone under? This is it. You're either with Republicans, it's right there in the name, to preserve the Republic, or you're with the fascocrats trying to create a kleptocracy, inoptocracy, mobocracy. They want anything but a meritocracy. You are either with those trying to save the Republic, or as we've said before, #ROAR, restore our American Republic, or you're with those tearing it down. There is no like Henry pretend middle ground garbage anymore. If you're afraid to speak, suck it up. Put on your big boy pants. It's now or never. We save the country, or it's gone to hell never to be recovered again. And as Reagan said, we lose freedom here. There's nowhere else to go.
Yeah, Joe, it's America's political warfare. It is our modern Civil War, folks, because we are in a warfare like no other.
Great way to get a plug in on that book. Yeah, I should have mentioned it myself, so you wouldn't have had to have mentioned it. But exactly. Mike's books, my books, we're all about getting people off their couch and restore our American Republic, or we're lost.
Check out the books, because the two books connect to one another. My book and his book. We are seeing terror of all forms of terror in this country. You're seeing madness. You're seeing chaos. You're seeing corruption. Folks, those are forms of terror. Now, when people say, oh, it's terror is, it's not
just 9/11. It's not just 9/11.
It's not the terror that we're talking about. It's not a bunch of, there might be some zombies walking around with the trolls on social media, but it's the terror we're talking about with the mayhem that's going on in this nation. Because Joe's book, Terror Strikes Coming Soon to a City Near You, okay? That is the terror that's coming to a city near you. That is,
and I didn't even touch on it. Yeah. I didn't even touch on it, but like Walt tried to pull during debate, Trump will be Hitler. Trump will attack his opponents and lock up his opponents. We all know who the one is engaging in lawfare to try to keep Trump off ballots, or to try to keep him in court and bankrupt him, and try to keep RFK off ballots. But now that he's dropped out of the race, they're actually fighting to put him on ballots so he can draw votes away. It is the left engaging psychological projection, accusing us of what they're doing. That's a form of terrorism, right? We are going to lawfare you into bankruptcy if you dare come against us. That's a form of terrorism. They want to terrorize you so you don't speak.
Absolutely. Guys, we're going to close it out. I want to say thank you to another great sponsor, guys. A lot of people are like, Savage, the sponsors are killing us, but it keeps the show going without the sponsors. I'm a huge fan of production. Joe knows I'm a huge fan of quality content, material, all that. Without these sponsors, guys, it doesn't help us. With the production that I'm trying to give to you guys. I'm trying to give you guys quality production, quality material that makes it look good, right? I mean, Hollywood stuff is good and everything, but, like Joe's, he's not really a fan of Hollywood stuff and high production. But, with us, I do, and I'm not going to sideline Joe with that, but, I come from that industry. I come from that background. So I want to make you guys think that I'm not a hypocrite, but to give this content, this is what I like doing. So I like plugging these companies because they sponsor us, and I want to say thank you to Dirty Ore Beer Company down in Florida. A lot of Florida companies sponsoring us. We're heavily known in Florida, Georgia, California, state of Texas. Big fans up in Toronto. Great Britain, Ireland. I can't name them all, guys, because it's a large list of people that constantly look at us and view us. But thank you very much, Dirty Ore Beer Company. Just picking up that sponsor earlier this week. Excuse me. And nobody has more fun than them. The Dirty Ore of beer. It's not what you think, guys. The Dirty Ore of beer. I like that little thing. Yeah.
Put your oar in the water and start paddling up. Now, I'm glad Savage said it the way he did. He's comes from radio. He's a professional radio guy. I lift up. See, I'm just your average schmuck broadcasting with a green screen from my living room. Yeah, I do it. I do it on the cheap. He's an actual radio professional.
I try, guys. I got out of talk radio a long time ago, and I merged my experience working with networks that I used to work with, and I'm not plugging networks in because frankly, I don't want to. I'm allowed to, but I don't want to. because it's not helping me. It's really helping them. but I mean, I got out of that, guys, because I was tired of seeing what you're now seeing now. Okay. Everything you're seeing now in media, I lived through it already, and I'm still living through it.
Yeah, you saw the early machinations of it. Back then, a Walter Cronkite, who was a Democrat, at least pretended, put on an air of moderation and hid his bias 99% of the time. Now it's all their left bias is on their sleeve 99% of the time. And every once in a while, the 1% of the time, they might pretend they're a journalist. They're not journalists. They're reporters. They just parrot the left talking points as facts. That's not being a journalist. That's being a parrot.
Oh, yeah. Yeah. Parrot time is over. Cutesy time is over.
Now I got Margaritaville on my wasted parrot heads. Wasted away. That's a different kind of parrot. Different kind of parrot head.
Wasted away again in Margaritaville.
R.I.P. brother Jimmy. R.I.P.
Guys, take it easy. Until next time.